Talmud Bavli Tractate Beitzah, page 16b. In the previous video, I mistakenly said Bav Metzia. Bav Metzia has some similarities in sound to Beitzah, and so it's Beitzah, the previous daf, 16a. So anyway, 16b at the top, with the words Har Sana Ikar. The fish fat, which it was saying that the fish fat which one is permitted to eat, even if cooked by Gentiles, is the essential element. Therefore, he teaches us that the flour is the essential element, and the Gentile has created a new and significant dish, which is consequently prohibited. This is back in the day, in a different time, different era. Okay, Amar Rabbi Abba. Rabbi Abba said, a joining of cooked foods requires an olive bulk of food. A dilemma was raised before the sages. It is enough to have one olive bulk for all of the household members who are relying upon this Erev. Or perhaps there must be a separate olive bulk for each and every one in the household. Come in here, that which Rabbi Abba said, that Rav said, a joining of cooked foods requires an olive bulk, whether it is cooked for a single person or for 100 people. The Gemara comments, we learned in the Mishnah, if one ate the joining of cooked foods that he prepared, or if it was lost, he may not rely on it and cook with the initial intent to cook for Shabbat. But if he left any part of the Erev, he may rely on it to cook for Shabbat. The Gemara asks, what is the meaning of any part of it? Doesn't it mean that it is valid although there is not an olive bulk? The Gemara answers, no. The phrase any part of it means that there is at least an olive bulk left. The Gemara attempts to bring another proof. Come in here, the cooked dish that is required for joining of cooked foods may be roasted or even pickled, or well boiled or boiled in the regular manner, or may even be Spanish soft sea fish. Kolios ha'ispanin. Upon which one poured hot water on the eve of the festival, rendering it cooked. With regard to its beginning and end, meaning its required size, ab initio, after it has been reduced by being partially lost or partially eaten, the Erev has no required measure. What is it not that it has no required measure at all? Not even a minimum one? The Gemara rejects this. No. It means that it does not have a maximum measure, but it does have a minimum measure, namely an olive bulk. Rav Huna said that Rav said, a joining of cooked foods requires knowledge, meaning that one must be aware of the Erev for it to be effective. The Gemara comments, it is obvious that we require the knowledge of the one who prepares the Erev. The question is, do we also require the knowledge of the one for whom the Erev is prepared, or do we not require it? The Gemara suggests, come and hear a proof from the following testimonies. Shmuel's father would prepare an Erev for the entire city of Narda, and Rabbi Asi would prepare an Erev for the entire city of Tiberias. Similarly, Rabbi Yaakov Bar Idi would announce, anyone who did not prepare a joining of cooked foods for himself should come and rely on mine. The Gemara asks, up to how much may one rely on it? In other words, how far may one be from such an Erev and still rely upon it? Rabbi Nechumi Bar Zachariah said, in the name of Avaya, one may be as far as the Shabbat limit, Tchum Shabbat. The Gemara relates that with regard to the blind person who would present Mishnayot before Mar Shmuel, the latter observed that he was sad. Mar Shmuel said to him, why are you sad? He said to him, because I did not prepare a joining of cooked foods before the festival. Mar Shmuel said to him, they rely on mine. In the following year, he once again observed that he was sad. He said to him, why are you sad? He said to him, because I did not prepare a joining of cooked foods. Mar Shmuel said to him, if so, you are consistently negligent in this regard. Therefore, for the entire world, in other words, anyone else but you is permitted to rely on my Erev if they forgot to prepare one. But for you, it is prohibited to do so, as I did not intend to include such negligent people as yourself in my Erev. Woof. Wow. The sages taught if a festival occurs on Shabbat Eve, you could have told him, you forgot last year. You could have said that, but why a second time? Well, at least wait till 3 times, don't? Doesn't make sense to me. It was a full year. I don't know. The sages taught if a festival occurs on a Shabbat Eve, one may not prepare an Erev on that day, neither a joining of Shabbat boundaries, nor a joining of courtyards. For Shabbat. If one did not prepare these before the festival, he may not do so on the festival itself. Rabbi Yehuda Nasi says, on a festival that occurs on Friday, one may prepare an Erev for a joining of courtyards, but not for a joining of Shabbat boundaries. His reasoning is as follows. There is a distinction between 2 types of Erev because you may prohibit him from a matter that is prohibited to him. For example, venturing beyond the Shabbat limit, which is prohibited on a festival, as well as Shabbat, but you may not prohibit him from a matter that is prohibited to him. Example, carrying from one domain to another, which is permitted on a festival. Therefore, on a festival, one may not prepare a joining of Shabbat boundaries in order to render it permitted to venture beyond the boundary on Shabbat before the festival. However, one may prepare a joining of courtyards on the festival in order to render it permitted to carry from one domain to another on Shabbat following the festival. It was stated, Itmar, oh nice, almost done. It was stated that the Amoraim disagreed as to the conclusive ruling. Rav said the halacha is in accordance with the opinion of the first Tana, who said that it is prohibited to prepare both types of Erevin, and Shmuel said the halacha is in accordance with the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi, and it is permitted to prepare a joining of the courtyards on a festival. A dilemma was raised before the sages. It is stating that the halacha is in accordance with the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, a leniency or a stringency. The Gemara wonders at this query. It is obvious that he stated it as leniency. The Gemara explains the question was asked because Rabbi Elazar sent a message from Eretz Yisrael to the diaspora. This Beitzah is not as you teach it in Babylonia, that Rabbi Yehuda Nasi permits one to prepare a joining of courtyards on a festival, and the rabbi is prohibited. Rather, the opinions should be reversed, so that Rabbi Yehuda Nasi prohibits it. Yehuda Nasi prohibits it, and the rabbis permit it. Therefore, the question arose: what is the conclusive ruling for this halacha? Is it lenient or stringent? The Gemara attempts to cite a proof. Come in here that Rav Tachlifa bar Avdimi performed an action in accordance with the opinion of Shmuel, who ruled that the halacha is in accordance with the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda Nasi. And Rav said in anger about this, the first public ruling of this young Torah scholar is bringing about corruption of the halacha. The Gemara analyzes the statement. Granted, if you say that Rabbi Yehuda Nasi said it has a leniency, this explains the corruption of the halacha involved. As Rav was angered by the young scholar who relied on his own judgment to issue a lenient ruling on a disputed issue. However, if you say that Rabbi Yehuda Nasi meant it as a stringency, what corruption of the halacha is there in the young scholar's ruling? The Gemara answers, since it corrupts the behavior of the masses, as if they refrain from preparing adjoining courtyards on the festival, although it is permitted to do so, they might mistakenly carry from one domain to another on Shabbat. They refrain from preparing adjoining of courtyards on the festival. They might mistakenly carry from one to why would they carry on Shabbat? I don't know.